guys, welcome back to the channel. I am the Rascal. Today's video, I would like to talk about my wish list for Madden 19 and 20. And I say 19 and 20 and not just 19 because as of this point, 19 is probably in development. Well, it is in development. And a lot of these things probably are going to be left out regardless. And I just want to do a video on stuff I would like to see in future Maddens as well. So my number one on this list is going to be make the players more lifelike. Not very hard. I'd like to see some off-season occurrences, maybe disputes with fellow teammates, you know, like the confrontation that Terrell Owens and Donovan McNabb had, as well as chemistry. An offensive line has been playing with each other for the longest time, and they end up playing better the longer they're together as a squad, rather than you trade one or two of them, or start with a fresh line and they're actually going to play worse for you right off the bat, and then they have to build their chemistry up to your team standards or up to par. Number two on my list would be for solo player careers. I would like to see more than just playing games and practice. It gets a little repetitive. More choices in game would really be immersive to the player. I'm not saying go 2K18 on us. That was bad. I don't like to be forced into cutscenes, but once in a while, maybe having to go to autograph signings, or take pictures with fans, or do things off-season, even commercial shoots, or things that you have to do with the team in order to keep your, image professional. My number three is kind of a long shot, and no, I don't mean the long shot mode that they added into this year's game or last year's game. Bring the halftime show where we see highlights from around the league. I'm a big connected franchise guy, so I like to get a little insight on what the other teams are doing around the field, or around the league. So instead of literally just having to go to stats and go, oh, they got a lot of stats this game, during the halftime show, anybody that's played before you, they could incorporate their clips into the halftime show. We just played our game, or I'm playing my game against this guy, and then they're going to bring in a halftime show, which we already know what happened. Why do we got to see it again? I would rather see stuff that's going on around us, Say I'm in playoff contention and I have a big team to play next week, and then they can show, oh, this guy is running the ball heavily. Then I know for the next week coming up that I need to step up my defensive tackles and my defensive ends, so that way we are prepared for the following week. My number four is kind of something that's been trending on every Madden right now, is take away the drive goal system. And I don't mean completely. I'm just tired of every drive. Say you have a key player, say Rob Gronkowski. I hate the Patriots, but let's just say Rob Gronkowski. Actually, I was playing with a buddy who was playing as the Patriots, and every drive goal was throw the ball to Gronk. Oh, give the ball to Gronk. Throw him to the end zone. Get another touchdown. Blah 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 with Gronk. It gets old. Like, have drives goals once in a while where it's like, okay, the last 2 minutes, eat the clock, or win the game, and step up the XP rather than giving us these little bitty XPs every time we do a goal. It gets old. My number five, please, 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 EA, bring back the Combine. Even if we don't have full-on mini games to play with it, it would be cool even to do, like, say you do scouting for rookies, that you actually get to watch some of the Combine, or you can, like, as you scout, use some of your points to watch the Combine tape of a certain player. That way you can get a more grasp, which also goes along with my number one, which would make the game more lifelike, where you'd actually give two shits about the character that you're watching or the player. My number 6 is make a more realistic trade system and re-signing system. You know, you have a player on your team that's not playing up to par and you want to trade him, but he's really good. You shouldn't have to bite the bullet and send somebody him and a draft pick for something that's even lesser than him. And you guys all know what I'm talking about. Like, anybody that's played Madden, you go and offer them a trade that happened in real life, or even, for example, Lane Johnson, very easy player to get on Madden. Now, if you're playing as the Eagles and you go to trade Lane Johnson, you're going to have to offer Lane Johnson and like a third-round pick for 80 overall or less player just to acquire that trade to happen. It doesn't make any sense. Same with re-signing. Re-signing, you up their money, or if you don't give them enough of a signing bonus, they immediately go, oh, there's not enough money, blah, blah, blah. Or, oh, I'm going to pack my bags and I'm going to see what free agency has to offer. That is not how it works. You could be able to talk to them, you know, maybe give them, maybe when you do this re-signing, give them the option, like in the side, oh, we're going to give you this amount of money because. So you would end up getting a situation where it's like, okay, we won the Super Bowl last year, you were the MVP, so we're going to give you, you know, a bonus or more money. On the other hand, this player didn't play very well. We still made it to the Super Bowl, but we need cap space. Hey, would you mind taking a small pay cut in order for us to continue our winning ways? That way you can have your team feel more realistic. There are guys in the league that will play not just for the money, but for the love of the game. My number 7 is something I would really like to happen. Anybody that plays franchise as a owner, a lot of times likes to just move their team, and I like to move my team. But how about bring back the option, because you guys know that they used to have the option where you could pick your team, pick your name, design your uniform, and design the stadium. That used to be in Madden, and then they took it out. Now we can select through, I think it's 30 or less cities to play in, and then they give you 3 options for logos and 3 options for jerseys, and they don't even look good. How about giving us a little bit more to work with, where we can have our own fantasy franchise? It would be great. My number 8 is add another way to play franchise mode, like using only an offense or defensive coordinator. And if you are a coach of that status, then you literally coach. So if you're the offensive coordinator, you call the plays and you watch what happens. Now, EA tried this back in 2009 when they had EA Sports Madden head coach. It didn't work very well. But if they use the same concept of Madden and just, you know, put it on a difficulty where the AI is not completely stupid, then that would be a really cool experience to actually just be the coach, not have the whole game ride on, you know, you're pushing the A button or accidentally hitting the X button when you meant to hit the Y button. Now I'm talking Xbox One, but that's where I know Madden. My number 9, VR is a big thing coming up. You got the HTC Vive, or whatever it's called. You have the Oculus Rift. Sony has its own VR system, and I believe Microsoft was in the works for it. I don't know. I can't 100% stand behind that statement. But first-person football in VR would be sick, and you know it. And my number 10 is something that I've been wanting ever since I played Madden. Again, I love playing franchise mode. So what I would like is more in-depth character creations as well as rookie classes. Everybody has these generic looking faces, no tattoos, nothing. part of being in the NFL is being able to keep an image or have imagery, you know, become professional, be able to have like that standout feature, like Odell Beckham's got his blonde hair and now apparently a cocaine case against him. You know, a lot of the quarterbacks, you know, Brett Favre had the beard the whole time. You hardly ever saw him clean shaven. They all had identifying marks. Same with tattoos. I mean, only like the big name players have tattoos in the game, really. And is there a feature to add them? No. So how about we get some of that going? More in-depth creativity to Madden, which would make the game better. Well, guys, that was my top 10 list for Madden 19 and 20. If you would like to see any others or would like to discuss any of my features that I thought of any more, comment down below. And I will see you in the next video.